Morten from INKISH, still reporting from SpencerMetrics. And it is so funny because at the very first Printing United was in Dallas in 2019, way before we heard about COVID. I actually met Elias that we're going to talk to now, so it's a pleasant surprise to see you again.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Entourage Yearbooks, did I say it right?
That's right, that's the way
fantastic.
You say it.
I mean, I was already prepping for doing it 3 times, so that was good.
You nailed it the first time.
So before we're going to talk about, because you are a relatively new customer of SpencerMetrics, but before we talk about that, I am a little bit interested in, I mean, yearbooks pretty much tell what you do, but what is the challenges from a production and business perspective? What is that makes your business unique?
Sure. So Entourage Yearbooks, we're known as what's called a next generation yearbook company. We play in a space where you build your yearbooks online. We provide free software to the school. And the reason why we exist is we basically, we have a very nice piece of software for building these yearbooks. We do it a little faster than a lot of our competitors, and our price point's a little cheaper. The industry in the United States is about $1 billion. And so there's a lot, it's different from other countries in that the yearbook industry is quite large here. And we've carved out a niche for us, for people who are looking for next generation yearbooks.
How many % do you need in your revenue before you have the $1 billion?
So we're probably about 20%.
Oh, really? Okay, so it's a big company, basically.
I don't know about big.
Okay. But you're doing good.
Yeah, we're doing fine.
And what is, I mean, if you look at the business challenge, I mean, do you sell to the schools or do you sell to the students or who do you sell to? Or?
So we normally sell to the school. So there'll be either a teacher or a parent that's organizing the yearbook at the school. And then from there, we contract with the school, they build the book at the school, they submit for print, and then we take care of the production then.
And you always get the most fantastic high quality photos, right?
That is the name of the game, right? Is you got to have next generation yearbooks is all about, like digital photos. It's all about getting QR codes to play video. So it's a multimedia type of experience now. Okay,
so basically the next generation means that you take let's say the digital space into getting the distribution of a physical book, basically, right?
That's right, that's right.
That must be fun, right?
A lot of times what we're doing a little different is the yearbook is a hybrid digital experience now.
So you have both
you still have a physical book, but then you can view a digital version of it online, you can sign it, you can do digital autographs, you can have a video from graduation that maybe didn't make it into the book, but you can view it afterwards. So that's what the kind of hybrid digital experience is like these days.
And what is your role with Entourage?
I'm one of the 2 founders, and I'm the CEO.
Okay. And I take that when you have spent some time on doing this, you got experience in the market, and is it a growing market or is it a stable market? Or
a lot of people ask me, is the yearbook industry going into decline? We segment the market into 2 pieces. There's kind of the traditional large yearbook that you're spending $100 for, and that part of the market is declining. The books are getting smaller, the buy counts are getting smaller. There's a part of the market that we do a little better in, which is kind of like this kind of growing niche of yearbooks. So like elementaries are doing yearbooks, and preschools are doing yearbooks, and daycares are doing yearbooks. So all these organizations that never did yearbooks before are now doing yearbooks because it's getting easier.
So you can have a growth, but in various segments, basically.
It depends on the segment. The yearbooks in the college space has pretty much dwindled to almost nothing.
Yearbooks of the unborn, that is a tremendous market.
Yeah. I'm hopeful that yearbooks will eventually become more of an international phenomenon too.
Yeah, I can imagine that. So the reason why we're here is because when we made an agreement with SpencerMetrics to talk to some of the customers, you're one of them, and as I said, I'm pleased to meet you again. SpencerMetrics, why did you choose, 8 months ago, apparently you chose to invest in SpencerMetrics. Why did you do that?
Yeah, so we run a production facility where we print, yearbooks for schools all across America. We needed a way to, on a third-party auditing basis, understand where our production opportunities were. And
also identifying bottlenecks and things like that?
Bottlenecks and waste and following the jobs through. And SpencerMetrics was one of 3 companies that we were evaluating.
Oh, so you were looking into different options?
We were.
And they won the job, basically?
They won it for us. And it really came down to 3 things. Number 1 is, from our perspective, they had the best integration with the digital presses. So the insight into how that press is running, they had the best one for that. At least for our presses, we have Indigos. Second is, it was important for us also to have an analog tracking system. And that was something that the other companies didn't have.
So that basically means that you have sensors on analog equipment and how you interface that into SpencerMetrics.
So you can see, it sees like a person, you know, a sheet of paper going by or a book going by. And so that piece of it also was there. And then the third part of it is we really wanted something like out of the box. Like we didn't want to spend like 3 weeks configuring this thing. And so they checked the box.
You have business to do, right?
Yes. And a lot of these, you know, metric MRP type of systems, they can be quite complicated to set up. And so that was a third checkbox for us.
So is it mainly to monitor production? I mean, because we spoke to one of your colleagues in the industry, Max, just before, and he said that he was also using it to trigger some API calls for the workflow integration. Is that too early for you to do that, or are you thinking about it, or what are your plans?
We're still learning to use the software. I mean, we've only had it installed for about 8 months. So we started with just like how many books are we making, right? It was telling us that, and how many are we making in day shift, and how many are we making night shift, and all that. So we were in that phase for the first 3 or 4 months, and it was groundbreaking for us.
Was it an eye-opener simply?
Oh yeah, because we always knew like night shift was slower than day shift. But now we can see it in the report.
Exactly how much it is, right?
Well, that's the thing. But then night shift also sees they're slower than day shift too. So then night shift starts speeding up.
So that has increased productivity?
So it has increased productivity.
So that is like, it is as much as it's a management tool, it is also like let's say an incentive encouraging tool for employees.
Yeah, we use it as a performance management system now. So that's kind of our evolution.
I mean, when you say like managing an incentive program for employees, does that mean that you actually use it as part of your, let's say, compensation plans and things like that, or?
So we're not there yet, but we're implementing parts of it to actually use for compensation discussions. So at the first level,
so you can basically say that in this shift, staff X performed on an 8-hour shift. This is the compensation, and then they had Y, an 8-hour shift. This was and then you can basically have some kind of metrics that basically, hopefully, have like an incentive character to people to basically perform more equal, basically, right?
That's right. And so we're still in the midst of that. We haven't implemented it. The idea is not per shift, though. The idea is like per month or per quarter.
It was just as an example. But I mean, I don't even think, maybe SpencerMetrics thought about that when they developed the software, but it's like, it seems to me that when you have access to data, it gives you a lot of opportunities on how to utilize the data in different ways, because the way you talk about it is entirely different from what Max was saying, but that just shows the diversity, not of what is shown on the screens, but on how you utilize the data.
How we use it, right? In our facility, everybody generally, all the operators got paid a very equal amount. And we're using this to kind of compensate people who perform better to be paid higher. So we want to take out that kind of uniformity, and then we want to have the highest paid operators in the industry.
Because
the expectation is they're the highest paid because they're the highest performing.
I think that, I'm from Europe, and I think in Europe that kind of, let's say, competitive mentality in the workforce is not as expressed as it is in America. But do your employees feel that is a fair way of judging their performance, or is it just something that you have to do in order to be efficient, or?
Well, I think it's being received well. We're still rolling it out. I think there's a right way and a wrong way of doing it. I'm hoping that we are on the right side of the equation there. We got to use long-term metrics, not short-term ones, because if a person performs well one week and badly another week, it doesn't really matter. So that's the way that we're approaching it.
Okay, so you're basically trying to use it as something that has a very positive impact on, because everybody also talking about that it's difficult to get skilled people, right? So you want to keep labor, but still have like some kind of incentive to make them perform better, of course.
Absolutely.
Right?
United States, we have a 4% or 4.5% unemployment rate. Wages are going up. We want to keep and we want to compensate our best performers as high as possible to keep them. And in order to do that, we need to incentivize them, and we need to compensate them.
And just imagine that you found the tool in a software platform that was easy and simple to integrate, right?
Yeah, that was the big thing for us. Is it really felt like an appliance installation. Like they came in, they put a box into our facility, and they plugged it in, and then bang, the dashboard started appearing. So that was the reason why it was like, we were up and going in less than a week.
Fantastic. Thank you, Elliot.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay.